In August 2024, our planet is expected to experience a solar event that could mark a turning point in our civilization. The most powerful solar storm in recorded history. The sun, our life-giving star, is not just a source of light and warmth. It's a massive ball of energy that undergoes cycles of intense activity, which can have profound effects on Earth. What we're about to witness could be unprecedented, not only in terms of scientific interest, but also in the way it may impact our everyday lives. The sun operates in cycles with periods of increased and decreased activity known as solar maximum and solar minimum. Right now, we're heading toward a peak in the sun's activity known as solar cycle 25. Scientists have been closely monitoring this cycle, and recent observations indicate that August 2024 could see an event unlike anything we've experienced before. A solar storm with the potential to affect global communication systems, power grids, and even space travel. Solar storms are caused by eruptions on the sun's surface, which send massive amounts of charged particles and energy hurtling through space. When these particles interact with Earth's magnetic field, they can cause geomagnetic storms. These storms can lead to stunning auroras, but they also pose serious risks to our technology-driven society. The storm expected in August 2024 is projected to be one of the most powerful in history, potentially reaching levels that could disrupt satellites, GPS systems, and global communications. Why does this matter for our civilization? Our modern world is intricately linked to technology. We rely on satellites for communication, navigation, and weather monitoring. We depend on the internet and electricity grids for daily life, from financial transactions to healthcare systems. A major solar storm could cause widespread outages, leaving us vulnerable in ways that few people fully understand. Imagine a world where power grids across continents are knocked out, causing blackouts that last not just for hours, but potentially for days or even weeks. The cascading effects could disrupt food supply chains, hinder emergency services, and throw financial markets into chaos. In a worst-case scenario, such a solar storm could even damage the critical infrastructure needed to restore these systems. The recovery process could be long and costly, affecting every aspect of our lives. But there's more to consider beyond the immediate disruptions. The potential solar storm in August 2024 also holds implications for space exploration. As we look toward missions to the Moon, Mars, and beyond, the increased solar activity could pose serious risks to astronauts and spacecraft. High levels of radiation during a solar storm can endanger human life in space and damage sensitive electronics on board spacecraft. NASA and other space agencies are preparing for such events, but this storm could test our preparedness on an entirely new scale. Interestingly, some spiritual and metaphysical communities believe that solar activity is connected to shifts in human consciousness. The sun, after all, has been a symbol of enlightenment and transformation in various cultures throughout history. Some suggest that the intensity of this solar storm could coincide with a collective awakening, a shift in energy that aligns with broader cosmic cycles. Whether you view this from a scientific or spiritual perspective, one thing is clear. This event is significant. The question remains, are we ready for it? Governments and organizations around the world have been warned about the risks of solar storms, yet preparation varies widely. Some nations have invested in hardening their power grids and improving communication systems, while others remain vulnerable. The possibility of a massive solar storm in August 2024 should be a wake-up call for greater global cooperation and investment in resilience. What we're potentially facing in August 2024 is not just a spectacular natural phenomenon, but an event that could reshape our world. Whether it's the disruption of technology, the impact on space exploration, or even a shift in collective consciousness, this solar storm could be a defining moment for humanity. It serves as a powerful reminder that despite all our technological advancements, we are still deeply connected to the forces of nature. It's important to dive deeper into how this event could specifically unfold and what it means for various aspects of our lives. When we talk about a solar storm, we're not just referring to a single moment of impact. These events often occur in stages, with varying levels of intensity and duration. The first signs of the impending storm could appear as early as days or even weeks before the main event, as astronomers and space weather experts closely monitor the sun's surface for any signs of unusual activity. Solar storms typically begin with what's known as a coronal mass ejection, or CME, a huge burst of solar wind and magnetic fields rising from the sun's corona into space. If a CME is directed toward Earth, it takes a few days for it to reach our planet. As it approaches, the particles interact with Earth's magnetic field, causing disturbances that result in geomagnetic storms. These storms are categorized by their strength, and the one expected in August 2024 could reach a level classified as extreme. One of the first noticeable effects for most people would be the expansion of auroras, those mesmerizing lights often seen near the polar regions. In an event of this magnitude, the auroras could be visible much farther from the poles than usual, dazzling people in regions that rarely experience them. Imagine seeing vivid displays of greens, purples, and reds illuminating the night sky as far south as major cities like New York, London, or Tokyo. For many, this will be a beautiful spectacle, but for experts, it's also a warning signal of much larger disruptions on the horizon. As the storm intensifies, the effects would begin to hit harder. Satellites in orbit are particularly vulnerable, and some could be temporarily disabled or permanently damaged. Communications could become spotty, with disruptions to everything from international phone calls to live broadcasts. GPS systems, which we often take for granted, could be severely impacted, affecting everything from airline routes to logistics operations. It's a chilling thought, how reliant we've become on these systems, and how quickly they could be thrown into disarray by a single solar event. But the most significant danger lies in our power grids. In 1989, a smaller solar storm caused a blackout in Quebec, Canada, leaving millions without power for hours. The storm expected in August 2024 could be much stronger, potentially affecting grids worldwide. Power companies have contingency plans, but many grids are still highly susceptible to geomagnetic disturbances. If transformers and other critical infrastructure are damaged, repairs could take weeks, during which entire regions might experience prolonged power outages. Such a scenario would not just be inconvenient, it could be catastrophic. Our interconnected world relies on stable electricity for nearly everything: communications, healthcare, banking, food production, and water supply systems. Imagine hospitals operating on limited backup power, grocery stores unable to restock shelves, or financial markets unable to process transactions. The chaos could be widespread and lead to significant economic losses. For many people, this might sound like a doomsday scenario, but it's also an opportunity for us to reflect on how we can better prepare for such events. Governments, utilities, and industries need to prioritize building more resilient systems that can withstand solar storms. From upgrading transformers to investing in backup power solutions, there's a lot that can be done. At the same time, individuals should also consider how to prepare on a personal level, having emergency supplies, staying informed, and knowing what to do in case of extended blackouts. There's also a fascinating, more philosophical angle to consider. Solar storms remind us of our place in the universe and how even the most advanced civilizations are subject to the forces of nature. We often think of ourselves as separate from the cosmos, but events like this bring that illusion into question. What does it mean to live in a world where our lives are intricately tied to the rhythms of the sun, a star 93 million miles away? The sun has always been a source of mystery, worship, and power. Ancient civilizations revered it, seeing it as the source of life and energy, with rituals and myths centered around its cycles. In modern times, we've come to understand it through the lens of science, but the awe and reverence remain. The coming solar storm could be a humbling reminder that despite all our technological advancements, we are still part of a vast, interconnected system governed by forces far beyond our control. As we approach August 2024, it's not just about the scientific or technological implications. It's also a moment to consider our relationship with nature and the universe. How do we balance our dependence on technology with a respect for the natural world? How do we prepare for cosmic events that have the power to challenge the stability of our modern civilization? And perhaps most importantly, how do we adapt and grow in the face of such uncertainty? The most powerful solar storm in history expected in August 2024 is not just a scientific curiosity, it's a wake-up call for our civilization. It's a reminder that we are living on a planet that is subject to the cycles and forces of a dynamic solar system. Whether we see this event as a challenge, a spiritual awakening, or simply another step in our understanding of the cosmos, it's clear that its impact will be felt in many ways. The future is always uncertain, but with awareness and preparation, we can face whatever comes our way with resilience and adaptability. In the aftermath of a significant solar storm, governments and industries will likely face intense scrutiny and pressure to bolster their defenses against future events. For many, this might trigger a paradigm shift in how we view and prioritize infrastructure. Suddenly, discussions about upgrading power grids, reinforcing communication systems, and investing in alternative energy sources will no longer be theoretical, but a matter of urgent national security. This could spark a race among nations to develop new technologies that can better withstand the unpredictability of space weather. The financial implications are also profound. A solar storm of this magnitude could send shock waves through the global economy. Stock markets might react violently to the initial disruptions, especially if financial institutions experience outages that delay transactions or freeze trading. Moreover, the costs of repairing damaged infrastructure, compensating for losses, and rebooting affected industries could run into the billions. Insurance claims, litigation, and government interventions would all follow, creating a ripple effect that could take years to fully recover from. On a positive note, the push to build more resilient systems could create new opportunities in tech innovation, job growth, and green energy initiatives. The ripple effects could also extend to geopolitical tensions. In a world where nations are increasingly interconnected through technology, a solar storm that disrupts communication systems or military satellites could create security vulnerabilities. Countries may become more guarded, focusing on protecting their own infrastructure while competing to gain the upper hand in technological defenses. The race to secure communication channels and control satellite systems could lead to new alliances or exacerbate existing rivalries. In some ways, this event could serve as a catalyst for a new era of space-related policies, where nations not only compete for dominance in space exploration, but also work to protect Earth's infrastructure from cosmic threats. Now let's shift focus to the human element. Imagine being a person living through these times, waking up one morning to find that the conveniences of modern life are suddenly compromised. Perhaps there's no internet, no reliable phone service, and power is intermittent. People would need to quickly adapt to a temporary lifestyle that relies less on technology and more on resourcefulness, community, and basic survival skills. There's a valuable lesson here. While we've built an incredibly advanced society, it's easy to forget how fragile it all is when faced with the forces of nature. This could also bring about a deeper philosophical and spiritual awakening for many. The sun has long been a symbol of consciousness, illumination, and life itself. In spiritual traditions across the world, solar energy is associated with enlightenment, clarity, and the divine. As the sun's activity peaks in 2024, there could be a collective shift in human awareness. People may start questioning the meaning of life, the sustainability of our technological dependency, and our place in the universe. The convergence of science, spirituality, and cosmic forces could lead to a new understanding of what it means to live in harmony with the universe. At a more metaphysical level, some believe that increased solar activity can accelerate the evolution of human consciousness. The influx of solar energy might not just affect our physical reality, but also our energetic and spiritual bodies. This is where concepts like DNA activation, the opening of energy centers, and shifts into higher states of consciousness come into play. Whether or not you subscribe to these ideas, it's clear that such events push humanity to explore questions that transcend the material world. In essence, the August 2024 solar storm represents a crossroads for humanity. How we respond to it, technologically, socially, and spiritually, could set the tone for the next era of human development. Will we continue down a path of unchecked technological expansion without regard for the natural world? Or will this event inspire a more balanced approach that respects both our progress and our limitations? It's also possible that this event could lead to a renaissance of sorts, where innovation is driven by a desire to protect and preserve what we have while preparing for future challenges. Just as previous civilizations responded to natural disasters with leaps in engineering, philosophy, and social organization, we too could emerge from this with a stronger, wiser, and more resilient world. It's worth reflecting on what this event can teach us about humility. For all our advancements, we are still at the mercy of a star that has existed for billions of years and will continue long after we're gone. The sun's power is a reminder that we are part of a cosmic dance that is both beautiful and unpredictable. While we strive for control and security in our lives, true wisdom lies in embracing the unknown and finding harmony within it. As we approach August 2024, let's prepare not just for the practical challenges ahead, but also for the deeper questions and transformations that may arise. This is a moment that calls for resilience, adaptability, and above all, a sense of interconnectedness with both our planet and the cosmos. We stand on the brink of an event that could change everything, not just in terms of technology or society, but in how we understand our place in the universe. The sun, in all its radiant glory, is about to remind us of a fundamental truth, that we are part of something much greater than ourselves. As we move even closer to this unprecedented solar event in August 2024, it's essential to focus on what practical steps we can take to mitigate its impact. Although the effects of this storm could be far-reaching, awareness and preparation can make a significant difference in how well we endure and recover from it. Let's first talk about individual preparedness. For the average person, this event is a call to get back to basics. One of the most immediate consequences of a major solar storm could be widespread power outages. Without electricity, much of our daily lives would be disrupted. Simple things like charging your phone, accessing the internet, or even buying groceries could become difficult or impossible. That's why having emergency supplies on hand is essential. Stock up on non-perishable foods, bottled water, flashlights, batteries, and a solar-powered or hand-crank radio. In a scenario where communication networks are down, a reliable radio could be your main source of information. Another key element of preparation is having a backup power source. For those who can afford it, investing in solar panels or a generator could be a lifesaver. Even if the grid goes down, having your own source of power would allow you to keep essential devices running. But beyond technology, think about skills. In the event of long-term disruptions, knowing basic survival skills like first aid, cooking without electricity, and purifying water could become invaluable. Community preparedness is just as important. Building connections with neighbors and local groups ensures that people can come together and support each other if needed. On a larger scale, there are things governments and corporations should be doing right now to prepare for this event. The power industry needs to prioritize hardening the grid, reinforcing transformers, upgrading circuit breakers, and installing protective devices that can shield against geomagnetic storms. The financial industry also needs to ensure that critical systems are backed up and that there are contingency plans for potential disruptions. Businesses, too, need to have emergency protocols in place, such as data backups and alternative communication strategies, to avoid crippling losses during any outage. But this event is not just about survival and resilience. It's also an opportunity to reimagine how we live and work. Imagine a world where the solar storm becomes a wake-up call that drives humanity to rethink its relationship with technology. We're moving toward an increasingly digital and interconnected world, yet this event highlights the fragility of that very interconnectedness. Perhaps it's time to consider building more decentralized and resilient systems that aren't so easily brought down by a single event. Whether it's blockchain technology, decentralized energy grids, or even more localized food production, this event could inspire innovations that lead to a more balanced, sustainable society. Another area of impact is the environment. With this heightened awareness of solar activity, we may begin to see renewed interest in renewable energy sources. The sun itself, the very source of this storm, holds the key to abundant clean energy. As we grapple with the effects of climate change, this event could push us to accelerate the adoption of solar energy, helping to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels. Ironically, the same force that could temporarily disrupt our lives might also inspire us to harness its energy more efficiently and sustainably. There's also the matter of mental and spiritual preparedness. Events of this magnitude often stir fear and anxiety, but they can also catalyze growth. How we choose to respond mentally and emotionally will shape our experience. For some, this could be a time to reconnect with inner peace and resilience, to practice mindfulness and cultivate a mindset of adaptability. In the days and weeks leading up to August 2024, conversations around this solar storm will likely increase. People will be asking questions, sharing concerns, and making plans. It's crucial to approach these discussions with both practical wisdom and an open mind. This is not a time for panic or fear-mongering. Instead, it's a moment for thoughtful preparation and a reminder of our interconnectedness. Whether it's sharing resources with your community, educating others about solar storms, or simply staying informed, we all have a role to play in ensuring that we navigate this event with resilience and grace. As we prepare for this cosmic event, let's also consider what it reveals about our broader journey as a species. We're living in extraordinary times, on the cusp of technological breakthroughs, environmental challenges, and spiritual shifts. Events like the August 2024 solar storm highlight the delicate balance between these forces. On one hand, we are advancing rapidly, creating technologies that could once only be imagined. On the other hand, we are still deeply connected to the cycles of nature and the cosmos, reminding us that there are forces greater than any of our creations. In many ways, this solar storm could be seen as a metaphor for the challenges and opportunities facing humanity today. Just as the sun's powerful energy can disrupt, it can also illuminate. It's a moment to consider where we've come from, where we're going, and how we can evolve as individuals and as a collective. Will we emerge from this event more united, more conscious, and more in tune with the universe? Or will we cling to outdated systems and ways of thinking that no longer serve us? As the date draws near, remember that while this event may seem daunting, it's also a chance for growth. It's a chance to reevaluate our priorities, strengthen our communities, and reconnect with the natural world. Solar storms are a reminder that we are not separate from the universe. We are part of it, and in that connection lies both vulnerability and immense potential. So as we count down to August 2024, let's prepare not just physically, but also mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Let's embrace this event as an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to step into a future where we live in greater harmony with both our technology and the cosmos. The sun has always been a source of life, light, and wisdom. Let's draw from its energy, not just to power our world, but to illuminate our path forward. The storm is coming, but with awareness and intention, we can weather it and emerge stronger, more connected, and more enlightened on the other side. In many spiritual traditions, the sun has long been associated with the divine, representing enlightenment, clarity, and the source of all life. This coming solar storm could be seen as a cosmic event of profound significance, offering humanity a collective reset moment. In the same way that the sun will be releasing intense bursts of energy, we too may feel this surge within our own consciousness, pushing us to release outdated patterns, embrace change, and elevate our awareness. Think about where we are as a society. We're at a crossroads between old systems that no longer serve us and new possibilities that are still being born. The pressure we feel, whether it's from environmental issues, social tensions, or technological upheavals, can be likened to the buildup of energy before a solar storm. Something's got to give, and when it does, there's an opportunity for transformation. Just as the sun's energy can both disrupt and illuminate, this event could serve as a catalyst for a global awakening. For those tuned into metaphysical ideas, this storm might represent a shift in vibrational frequency, a moment when the Earth itself undergoes a leap in consciousness. Some believe that solar storms have the potential to activate dormant DNA, enhance psychic abilities, and open up higher levels of awareness. Whether or not you subscribe to these concepts, there's no denying that intense cosmic events often coincide with shifts in human consciousness. We might see more people questioning their purpose, seeking spiritual guidance, or experiencing heightened intuition during this period. On a collective level, this could lead to a reevaluation of what truly matters. With our systems temporarily disrupted, we may be forced to focus on the basics: community, connection, and self-reliance. In a world where so much of our attention is captured by digital distractions, a solar storm could be a blessing in disguise, pulling us away from screens and back into the present moment. Imagine a world where, even for just a few days, people reconnect with nature, gather around candlelight, and engage in meaningful conversations without the interference of technology. There's a profound simplicity and beauty in that vision. This event could also inspire a wave of creativity and innovation. Historically, times of great challenge often spark bursts of artistic expression and technological breakthroughs. With the usual systems disrupted, people may be inspired to think outside the box, coming up with novel solutions and ways of living that better align with our evolving needs. Perhaps this storm will push humanity toward more sustainable practices, not just out of necessity, but because we recognize that it's time for a more balanced and harmonious way of life. But beyond the immediate changes, the most enduring impact may be in how we choose to narrate this story, how we frame this event in our collective memory. Will it be remembered as a time of chaos and disruption, or as a pivotal moment when humanity came together, learned valuable lessons, and grew stronger? The stories we tell about this solar storm will shape our perception of it and, by extension, our future. As we look ahead, it's clear that this event is more than just a scientific anomaly. It's a mirror reflecting back to us the state of our world, our dependencies, and our aspirations. It asks us to examine how we've built our societies, how we interact with each other, and how we relate to the planet and the cosmos. Are we living in alignment with our highest potential, or are we caught up in systems that disconnect us from what truly matters? In the days and weeks after the solar storm, there will likely be much discussion about what went wrong and what needs to change. But there will also be conversations about what went right, the communities that came together, the acts of kindness that emerged, and the insights that were gained. It's these stories of resilience and growth that will define the true legacy of this event. So as we prepare for August 2024, let's not just brace for impact, but embrace the opportunity for transformation. Let's see this event as a cosmic reminder that while we may strive for control and certainty, life is ultimately about adaptation, growth, and connection. The sun, in its magnificent power, is reminding us that we are part of a larger universe, one that is dynamic, unpredictable, and filled with both challenges and wonders. In the grand scheme of things, this solar storm is just one moment in the vast timeline of human history, but it's a moment with the potential to shape the course of our future. Whether it's through technological innovation, spiritual awakening, or simply a renewed appreciation for life's essentials, this event offers us a unique chance to evolve, individually and collectively. As we stand on the brink of this solar storm, let's choose to face it with courage, curiosity, and an open heart. Let's prepare not just for the disruptions it may bring, but for the insights and growth it may offer. The storm is coming, but so is the dawn of a new understanding, one that could light our way forward into a more conscious, connected, and resilient world. Thank you for joining me on this journey of exploration and reflection. Remember, we are not just passive observers of these cosmic events. We are active participants in shaping how we respond, how we grow, and how we build the future together. The sun's light will shine brighter than ever in August 2024, both in the skies and within us. Let's embrace that light and move forward with renewed purpose, unity, and hope.